Hello everyone out there, I'm Darren Orange and I'm here to chat with you guys about the two vehicles that are behind me. One being my GLI that I am currently leasing, and then also my Chevy Bolt that I purchased last year. So I guess the main question is, why do I have two cars right now? I literally got the two cars because the lease on my GLI here was coming to an end. I was about 7 months away and I was rapidly approaching the cutoff point of 30,000 miles. Currently the car has 28,600 miles on it. And the goal was to not spend any additional money on that car than absolutely necessary. I did not want to have to pay any overages or anything like that for the car. I literally just wanted to keep it and then pay nothing extra. So why did I lease a GLI? So at the time, 3 years ago approximately, I had an Audi A6. And the Audi A6, frankly, was very, very fuel inefficient. It would cost a lot for maintenance. I just spent, there's just too much money involved. The lease on this car literally cost less than my Audi, which it shouldn't be surprising, even though this was brand new. And the Audi was, at the time, almost 7 years old, or almost 10 years old. It's not new, right? So what I got was a GLI, 2016 Volkswagen GLI that had obviously no miles on it. It was brand new. It was an SE, and the goal was to have a fun car that was fuel efficient and ran on regular. So this guy right here runs on regular, doesn't require premium. It was the first year it was officially announced that it would take and run on regular, which was huge because it's easily 60 cents a gallon difference. The Audi required it. So as I'm coming to the end of the lease terms on this car now, I needed a new car, and I'd actually always been wanting a Chevy Bolt. I wanted it kind of back in the day. I was more interested in the Volt originally, but then I decided that, as you can watch my other video, I decided that this was the better car to go with for me because I've just decided that there was no reason to even use gas anymore. There was no point. I don't drive enough to need it. It doesn't make any sense. This car, and in fact, more than covers everything. And I have a video that I'll put in the link below of why I bought a Chevy Bolt. I might be doing a part 2 about that to expand on some of the things, some of the small intricacies. But back to the lease. So the lease in this GLI is coming up to the end, and they just did an inspection, and I aced it. I don't have to pay any extras for any damage to the car. There really isn't any damage to the car. They noted 2 spots, but it was within the wear and tear of the vehicle, which is a small ding on the side of the door that they put a little measuring tape next to and took a picture of it, and then also a scrape on the front right rim. I don't know where, I don't know where the ding happened. I don't know where the scrape happened. Just normal wear and tear, but at the extremes of what's acceptable apparently. So right now, the major thing that I want to get out there is that apparently, and I thought this might be true, that one of the reasons why I didn't want to keep the GLI at all is because of tires. And this might sound weird, but frankly, the one thing you easily underestimate with a leased car is you have to return it with good tires. If you don't, you're going to get hit, you're going to get knocked, you're going to have to replace the tires. And one thing people don't do when they lease the car is usually maintain it. So if you want to maintain it and keep it, you need to do that. But on top of that, if you want to get rid of it, you got to maintain it and get rid of it. If you just don't rotate the tires, you're going to burn out the front tires or rear tires or all the tires for that matter, and you're going to get stuck with replacing tires you never got to enjoy. Now, this car went through its original set of tires in just a little over 20,000 miles. Again, this has 18-inch rims. And I went ahead and put new tires on it. Right? I put the cheapest things I could find on it because there's no reason to put more money into the car that I'm going to get rid of. They aren't crap. They're just the generic discount tires. They work great, and they seem like they're going to last probably 50% longer, maybe 30,000 miles, versus the stock set that lasted barely over 20. So that only cost about $400 to do the tires on this. Not that expensive. But the one thing that also came up with it is the rims. I don't like the ride in Chicago. I'm stuck in Chicago. Again, the 18-inch rim versus the 17-inch rim, you can see that there's a substantial difference there, and especially in the sidewall. It makes driving in Chicago much nicer, the 17-inch. You know, I honestly don't notice the performance difference, and frankly, well, I'm feeling mostly it's just sitting closer to the ground, honestly. I mean, that's a huge difference. Even though these cars, if you look at them side by side, you know, the Bolt really is not massively taller, which is kind of funny, than the GLI, but your seated position is significantly lower. So I'll go ahead and jump in it and give you guys a view or a perspective of what I see looking out front. So this is the view here looking out front. You know, honestly, the GLI's interior is obviously a little bit higher quality than the Bolt, but frankly not much. I mean, it just seems that way because all the materials are a little bit darker in some cases, and I think that's what gives us the false illusion that the Bolt is a little bit lower quality just because it's darker. The steering wheel is just as nice. Some of these bits here that are you know, aluminum or whatever you want to call it, they're neat, but they're not, you know, the Bolt has chrome instead of this, so it's really the same thing. I just think people don't like chrome, at least that's my impression. So now I'll go and jump in the Bolt real quick for you guys. You guys can see that the different seated position is kind of huge, but at the end of the day, the cars really are not that much different in a lot of the ways as far as overall height, etc., etc. So then here, I'm in my Bolt. You can see out front the viewing perspective. It's a little bit higher. It definitely is, obviously. You can see and look over there at the GLI. I mean, I'm a good, feels about a foot taller, probably, than the GLI. But it's not crazy. And honestly, the batteries in the Bolt make the car handle much better. You do notice that. And that was one thing that really surprised me, is that whole nomenclature that the batteries being low make a big difference. It does, comparing it directly to essentially a little sports sedan, you know, it does make a big difference. So I didn't get knocked on anything. It's been great having the lease. It's been about 50% the cost roughly per month, and I had to roll in negative equity too. So I'm paying on this car, which is about $27,000, $28,000 out the door, about $287 with about $900 of negative equity being rolled into those 3 years from the A6. It was still a better choice. The A6 had 110,000 miles on it. Maintenance was becoming just too expensive, and I was paying literally, I probably made up the difference in gas savings in the time I've had this car, just thereabout, to be honest with you. But it's easily almost half the price to drive this versus driving the A6. Of course, again, the Bolt's radically cheaper than anything else, but that's besides the point. So would I recommend going ahead and leasing something? I would. If you're not going to drive over 10,000 miles a year, you just need a car to have a car, especially if you can get a deal like this, go for it. But if you need to drive, buy the car, because honestly, the extra $150 a month or $200 a month it would have been to buy the car, you may have been better off. I would be breaking even. However, this car's lost a lot of actual value. The current buyout price on it's about $17,000 for me. Well, unfortunately, this car here, it just doesn't have that value. It would trade right now to a dealership maybe for 14 or 15. You know, retail it would be 17 maybe. So it's not a good deal. Better off just getting rid of it, walking away from it. And that's the plan next month. And I'll give you guys an update when that does happen and the experience of doing it. It's supposed easy. I walk in, it takes a half an hour, I sign a piece of paper, they take the car, I call my insurance and take it off my insurance, and I'm done. Anyway, so far the GLI's been great. Haven't had any real major issues with it. Yeah, one more month and it's gone. If you guys have questions about leases, want more detail, put those in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll keep videos like this about different things coming. I am going to be doing some additional series, some adventures involving trips with the Bolt, as well as some home theater stuff as well, because I'm big into home theater. And I'm currently working on buying something new, and I'll do unboxing and a review of it for you guys. I will have a different logo splash screen for that so you guys can tell the difference. But again, please like, subscribe, comment. You guys will have video ideas for me, shoot them down below, and I'll definitely do them. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you in the future.